So back here with my good friend Rich Norton. How you doing today, Rich?
I'm doing excellent. Great to talk with you.
Yeah, great to have you on the show as always. I love these sessions where we get together and just record a bunch of these clips. It's fantastic. I want to talk about compensation a little bit. So for those that are newer, they're getting into the industry, and it can be very confusing because they talk to five, six, seven different processing companies or ISOs, and then they get these 17-page agreements that include a Schedule A and their terms like residual split and all that. You know, and I think it's tempting for these newer agents to really focus on that and say, but what actually matters when you're talking to a new agent? What do they really need to think through and consider when it comes to finding the right company with the compensation that they need to be successful?
Absolutely. I always tell everybody coming in, you want to think long term in this business. If you really want to be successful, I can't stress enough the importance of being with the right company. And I'm talking about a company that you know that is going to take care of your merchants. A lot of times we don't think about that. We want to focus on selling. We want to know
Right.
that if a merchant has an issue, they're great customer service. You have a relationship manager that you got great conversations with, that you have great communication with as well. Also, a company that's got a product and a service available for every merchant, so you don't have to work for 20 different companies. That's important. And to have the right training. I've had people call me up, like, yeah, I'm working with this company right now, and I have an 80%. The first question they ask me, right? I have
Yeah.
an 80% residuals. How much are you going to pay me? And I listen and I go, okay, well, that's great. I've got to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time. Here's what I find. 80% when you really look at the Schedule a lot of times is about half of that in many ways. And you and I have talked about that before.
Yeah.
But and I'll ask them, well, let me ask you this. How long you been doing this? So I've been doing this for 3 months. How many have you written? Nothing yet, but how much are you going to pay me? And it's like, well, let me figure that out. 80% of nothing is still nothing, correct? So what you need to
Right.
do is you need to learn the business, and I can't stress enough, especially I can go on and on about this. I'm so passionate about this that you got to get with a team that's going to teach you how to make a lot of money, but they're going to teach you how to do this business the right way, do it with integrity, and accomplish great things. Because I can tell you this: forget about all the percentages. I can tell you that we can get representatives up to 10,000 a month after their first year, 20,000 a month within a couple of years. But as long as their goals are that's where they want to be, and they want to go to work, and they're willing to go to work, because that's the bottom line. And that's my point of thinking big, not getting all caught up in what are you going to pay me right now.
Right. Well, and I think what a lot of agents don't understand is, our industry has a very unique economic model, right? And so, in a lot of industries, you would go out there and they would have a model where they would say, okay, yeah, we're going to give you a significant percentage of the profit, right? And then you're going to pay us 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, $10,000 a month to provide you with the franchise plan, or you're going to pay 100,000 up front or whatever, right? And so there's all these different economic models. Anytime you want to get into a new business, you're going to pay to get the proven path to success. And in this industry, it doesn't work like that, which is really nice. You don't have to pay all this money up
Yes.
front or monthly, but you pay for it through residual. I mean, that's just what it
Yes.
is. So you
Yes.
have your residual split and you say, okay, well, this company will give me 80%, this company will give me 50, this company will give me 70. And the question is, okay, but for the residual that you're giving up, what are you getting in return? And you have to look at that as a return on investment. And that's literally the way I encourage new agents to look at this because, like you said, when you're getting into the business, if you're not making any sales, you're not making any money. I don't care what your
That's
your
right.
split is, as you said. And even if you're making 2 sales a month versus 10, well, I would rather make 10 sales with a 50%, 60% split than I would make 2 sales with an 80% split. So we have to look at, the larger context of kind of how this plays out and how you monetize this in our particular industry. And again, it's different. I think it's great. I think if you're new and you don't have a bunch of money in the bank, this is an amazing opportunity. You don't have to put anything in,
That's right.
but don't get hung up on, well, this company is going to give me this percentage and then nothing else, right, versus the other side of it. So, Rich, for those who are finding this interesting, in the next little segment next week, we'll talk about upfront money and thinking about managing that a little more effectively. But for this particular video here, where would you send people to learn more if they want to speak to you or your team about learning more about your program?
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, I just want to cover that real
Yeah.
quick because with us, we start people at one level, and again, usually we find that that level is the same in many of these other big percentages, but we want people to grow because if you start out with a company and they give you everything all up front, where do you go from there? So with us, prove yourself, get to different levels, become a field leader, become a team leader, join a winning team, and we'll show you how to have great success in this industry. Reach out to me, 904-434-4635, or you can email me at payrock, Payroc, Rich Norton at gmail.com.